Good morning. Welcome to Tea Time. It's Friday, May 8th. It's going to be my last one. I'm going to do one more on May 20th. Ooh, that was weird. And then we're done. So we're wrapping things up. I'm starting to put my world back together. When we first went into quarantine, I don't know if you've noticed in my classroom, I'm very organized and I like things to have their place and everything needs to be easily accessible. The stuff that I would use every day, I need at my fingertips. The stuff that I just need to be able to get to my stuff. And I get a little anxious when I don't have my world ordered the way I like it ordered. And so that was one of the biggest stressful things about teaching from home was that I couldn't balance my school with my home. And I had to, because when I lesson plan on the weekends, I just take over the dining room table for a couple hours and then put it all away. And I only do that once a week. And that's no big deal. But to get everything out every day and then put everything away every day was stressful for me. And so I bought a little desk. So there's my dining room table behind me. And I bought this little table here and I'm sitting in front of my window and I made my classroom here. It doesn't look like my classroom at all, but I have all my files that I need and the pens I like to use and my grade book and everything at my fingertips. And I'm starting to put that away, starting to transition to just having my home be my home and not my classroom too. Everything makes me emotional. So yeah, it just feels weird because this has been my classroom for 2 months. So anyway, coping. I'm anxious because I think pretty soon I'm going to get an email that says I can go clean out my classroom because usually we put everything away before summer. So our classrooms don't look like they just do every single day. I put all my knickknacks away and pictures away and they clean and they've been cleaning. But anyway, I'm kind of anxious to get back in there. Hoping I can get your letters. The chain's going to make me cry. Yeah, it's just going to be a thing. The next 2 weeks are just going to be a whirlwind, I believe. Yes. So here's what I wanted to do today. I don't know if you remember this, but on not the very first day of school, I don't usually do this on day one, but I usually do this on day 2. I read you a letter. And it's a letter, it's a letter, basically this man, and he's kind of handsome. His name is Chris Milk. Milk. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Anyway, I don't even know why I think it's Chris. It says C. Maybe I just made up the Chris part. Anyway, this is somebody else who wrote this, and I read it every year. And I'm going to read it to you one more time because in light of everything we've been through, this holds true more than ever right now. And it's just something I feel strongly about. I'm not the greatest writer. I'm not even the greatest speaker. And this person's words touched a chord in my heart. And he said it better than I could have said it. And so I feel strongly about the words, even though they're not my own. I wish I was as eloquent as he is, but I'm not. So I'm going to read this. I don't know if I need my glasses on or not. I'm going to put them on anyway. Okay. It's 4 a.m. Oh, no, I don't need them. It's 4 a.m. I've struggled for the last hour to go to sleep, but I can't. Yet again, I'm tossing and turning, unable to shut down my brain. Why? Because I'm stressed about my students, really stressed. I'm so stressed that I can only think to write down what I really want to say, the real truth I've been needing to say, and vow to myself that I will let my students hear what I really think tomorrow. This is what students really need to hear. First, you need to know right now that I care about you. In fact, I care more about you than you may care about yourself. I care not just about your grades or your test scores, but you as a person. And because I care, I need to be honest with you. Do I have your permission to be honest with you? both in what I say and how I say it. Here's the thing, I lose sleep because of you every week. Before I tell you why, you should understand the truth about school. You see, the main event of school is not academic learning. It never has been. It never will be. And if you find someone who is passionate and claiming that it is all about the academics, that person is lying to him or herself and may genuinely believe that lie. Yes, algebra, essay writing, Spanish, the judicial process, all are important and worth knowing, but they are not the main event. The main event is learning how to deal with the harshness of life when it gets difficult, how to overcome problems as simple as a forgotten locker combination, to obnoxious peers, to gossip, to people doubting you, to asking for help in the face of self-doubt, to pushing yourself to concentrate when a million other thoughts and temptations are fingertips away. I'm going to add, in dealing with unexpected, unprecedented circumstances, like school closures, the spring of your senior year. It is your resilience in conquering the main event, adversity, that truly prepares you for life after school. Because mark my words, school is not the most challenging time you will have in your life. You will face far greater challenges than this. Sure, you will have times more amazing than you can imagine, but you will also confront incomparable tragedy, frustration, and fear in the years to come. But you shouldn't be worried about the fact that you'll face great adversities. You should be worried because you're setting yourself up to fail at overcoming them. Here's the real reason I lose sleep, worrying about you. You're failing at the main event of school. You're quitting. You may not think you are quitting, but you are quitting, and quitting wears many masks. For some, you quit by throwing the day away and not even trying to write a sentence or a fraction because you think it doesn't matter or there's no point, but it does. What you write is not the main event. The fact that you take charge of your own fear and doubt in order to write when you are challenged, that's the main event. Some of you quit by skipping class on your free education. Being punctual to fit the mold of the classroom is not the main event of showing up. The main event is delaying your temptation and investing in your own intelligence. Understanding that sometimes short-term pain creates long-term gain and that great people make sacrifices for a greater good. For others, you quit by being rude and disrespectful to the adults in the hallway who ask you to come to class. Oh, wouldn't you give anything to have somebody ask you to go to class right now? Oh. Bowing to authority is not the main event. The main event is learning how to problem solve maturely, not letting your judgment be tainted by the stains of emotion. I see some of you quit by choosing not to take opportunities to work harder and pass a class, no matter how far down you are. The main event is not getting a number to tell you you are worthy. The main event is pulling your crap together and making hard choices and sacrifices when things seem impossible. It is finding hope in the hopeless, courage in the chasm, guts in the grave. What you need to see is that every time you take the easy way out, you're building a habit of quitting. And it will destroy your future and it will annihilate your happiness if you let it. Our society cares nothing for quitters. Life will let you die alone, depressed, and poor if you can't man up or woman up to deal with hardship. You are either the muscle or the dirt. You either take resistance and grow stronger or blow in the wind and erode. But as long as you are in my life, I miss you guys. As long as you're in my life, I am not going to let quitting be easy for you. I'm going to challenge you, confront you, push you, and coach you Oh, I've never done this at the end of the year when I know you. Usually I'm reading this to you and you're strangers to me. You can whine, you can throw a tantrum, you can shout and swear and stomp and cry. And the next day, guess what? I will be here waiting, smiling and patient to give you a fresh start because you are worth it. So do yourself a favor, step up, no more excuses, no more justifications, no blaming, no quitting. Just pick your head up, rip the cords out of your ears, grab that frickin' pencil, and let's do this. This is good advice for you going forward too, guys. Don't quit. Don't allow this mishap. Oh, it's more than a mishap. It's not a mishap. I don't know what to call this. I think it's just a tragedy. I think the spring of your senior year turned into a tragedy. Don't let this tragedy define you, bring you down. Your futures are bright, and you have your whole life ahead of you. And just remember that the main event is overcoming the harshness of life, dealing with adversity, and coming out on top. And you've had to deal with some pretty big adversity. I believe your group, your demographic is the hardest hit by this because the rest of us, people will lose jobs and they'll get new jobs. I've heard people say college graduates are in the same boat as you. No, it's not the same, not even remotely the same. Because first of all, not everybody goes to college. Second of all, even those of us that went to college, not everybody walked, not everybody went through graduation. You ended, you didn't have to pay anymore and they gave you a piece of paper. It wasn't like, it's not even remotely like your senior year of high school, not even close. The little kids, this is just going to be a blip on their radar screen. They're going to be like, oh, remember we had COVID? It's going to be a passing fancy. Hopefully, and this doesn't become our normal. But for you guys, it's a blemish on a milestone the rest of the world will never understand. So, but don't let it define you. Don't let it bring you down, and don't let it stop you from being amazing, because you're the class of 2020. You get to hold your head high because you're surviving this, and you're not going to let this define you. You're going to rise above it because you're amazing. And I miss you like crazy. And I hope you have a great weekend. And I'll come back and do something for you on May 20th. Oh, and if something doesn't show up on May 20th, it's because I kept crying, and I'm not gonna just videotape myself a puddle of tears. That possibly could happen. Okay, guys. Oh, you know I love you. Have a great weekend. Be good to your moms. It's Mother's Day weekend.